Hello, guys. Welcome to another exciting episode on Pious Football, where I bring you the latest in transfer news. We do a tactical analysis of games and also discuss pertinent issues around football that you don't hear on mainstream European media. Now, let me just start my first story at the camp of Manchester City. Remember, yesterday was UEFA Champions League match day 3, the second round of games were played on Wednesday evening. Manchester City beat FC Young Boy 3-1. And I think it was an important night for Pep Guardiola and his men because that win takes them to 9 points and then makes them a bit more firmly in place to be the top dogs of the group. I think that the return leg with Young Boys would then mean that they will automatically qualify from the group stages. And of course, when the draw was done, everyone knew that Manchester City were going to be, the group leaders of that group. So it was a record night. The fact that Erling Haaland scored his 27th goal in the Champions League, and that puts him as the youngest player to reach 27 Champions League goals in the competition. The previous record was set by Kylian Mbappe when he scored at the age of 23 years, 296 days. Now that record has been broken by Erling Haaland, and Haaland has now scored at the age of 23 years, 95 days. So that puts him clearly ahead of Kylian Mbappe as the youngest player to reach the 27 goals in the Champions League. Also, I think Manuel Akanji, who was praised by Pep Guardiola before the game, was also on the score sheet. Akanji was brought in from Dortmund in the winter, and he has been really exceptional. He is very versatile, able to play in several positions. Guardiola mentioned his versatility before the game. That Akanji is a breath of fresh air, and that he's able to play as a right back, he's able to play as a central defender, he's able to play as a left back, and he's also able to play as a defensive midfielder. So I mean, Akanji being that sort of multitasking kind of player that is has been very helpful to Guardiola City. Also PSG beating AC Milan 3-0 and Kylian Mbappe on the score sheet. Kan, I think the South Korean who was bought from Valencia, was also on the score sheet. So that victory puts them in the lead of everyone in that group, the group of death. Mind you, they had a very faltering defeat to Newcastle United on match day 2. Now they've come back to reassert themselves, beating Milan. Now they have a return leg at the San Siro next week. So if they are able to get another 3 points from the San Siro, from AC Milan, that puts them on top of the group, like in a commanding position to top the group. I think that on the day Newcastle losing at home is going to affect them. It's going to be a costly 3 points loss because their return leg is going to be at Dortmund, where they play at the Signal Iduna Park. It's not likely they're going to win on that turf. And then they play PSG. Okay, they play PSG in Paris, which is rather unlikely they are going to win. So I mean, it's going to be difficult next 2 games in the Champions League for Newcastle, playing 2 away games on a row. FC Porto smash Royal Antwerp 4-1. Ivan Nelson, the Brazilian, on the score sheet with a hat-trick. So I mean, FC Porto confirming their position as the second favorites to qualify from that group. Barcelona beat they beat Shakhtar Donetsk later in the early kickoff 2-1. Fermin Lopez was on the score sheet. It's been a really fascinating 1 week for Fermin Lopez. Mind you, the La Masia graduate, 20-year-old, signed a new contract, just the contract on Monday evening at the Barcelona headquarters. 400 million euros release clause put in that contract. So Fermin Lopez, after signing a new contract, now scoring a goal at the Camp Nou, of course, that scoring a goal for Barcelona in the Champions League, his first goal in the Champions League, is obviously a good move for him. Very successful 1 week for Fermin Lopez. I think on the day Barca fielded a sort of second string side, although some of the first team players played. They had in mind the El Clasico at the weekend, so they had to rotate the squad. Xavi rotated the squad, and then of course they got the vital 3 points, which puts them in control of that group. Also, Atletico Madrid drew 2-2 with Celtic away at the Celtic Park in Scotland. It was kind of one of those games where it was always going to draw attention to off football matters because of the sort of fans that the certain group of Celtic fans, the radical group of Celtic fans who are noted for waving Palestinian flags during games. Now they've been fined in the Celtic. Has been fined by UEFA. The fans waved Palestinian flags, and they were punished for it. They were fined somewhere around 5,000 euros. So Celtic banned those the Celtic ultras. The Celtic ultras were banned by the Celtic team from coming to the stadium because they knew that they were going to wave Palestinian flags. Now FIFA and all the leagues around Europe are very sensitive about this Israel-Hamas conflict, and they don't want teams and footballers to be supporters, fans, and the football players to be involved in the political dimensions of this Israel-Hamas war, which of course divides opinion across all cultures. Okay, so that is one thing there to note. Also, another story I want to talk about is the fact that Ronaldo scoring 2 goals, scored a brace at the Asian Champions League. I think yesterday evening against Al Duhal, and that actually puts him makes him the most prolific footballer on the planet in the year 2023 thus far. So far, he has a total of 43 goals in 45 appearances, which is massive for both club and country. So, at the age of 37 years, Cristiano Ronaldo, 38 years, I think. Ronaldo is still, scoring goals, even though it's still in Asia. It still counts because they are, they are getting very competitive for some time now. So, we can't take that away from him. That he's been very prolific and very influential for Al Nassr in the Asian Champions League. They're actually top of their group. And also, I think they are, doing very well in their Saudi Pro League. So, Cristiano Ronaldo having that record shows the kind of caliber of player that he is. Also, one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that the transfer market, a website that discusses transfer of the market price of footballers and clubs, actually came up with this. Okay, they evaluated the strength of the various European clubs based on their finances, but actually it's more of a global assessment of finances of football clubs, and they came up to say that the Premier League is the most valuable league in the world with profits of around 11.04 billion pounds. That is 11.4 billion US dollars. Okay, and then La Liga coming in second with 4.77 billion. Now, if you look at the gap between the EPL and the second place league, that is La Liga. If you EPL making 11 billion, which is more than double what the La Liga is actually generating as a league. Now it shows you the power and the strength of the Premier League. 11 billion as compared to the La Liga, which comes second in 4.77 billion. Now also the Serie A comes in third with 4.71 billion. Now the Bundesliga comes fourth with 4.31 billion. The League One comes in fifth with 3.68 billion. The championship, ladies and gentlemen, the English Division 2, which is the championship, coming in at sixth with 1.68 billion. Now, the Serie A comes in seventh with 1.44 billion. So what it means is that the English second division, which is the championship, is more valuable, making more money than the Serie A. That is the kind of difference in financial might that England has with Italy at the moment in terms of football. And then also, I also want to talk about the fact that another important news coming in is that the Everton Football Club, is currently at a crossroads. Mind you, that the club is in the process of being sold to an American investment group called the 777 Partnership. Okay, they want to buy Everton. The process has almost been completed, except that the Premier League board need to authenticate the move by signing off. They have to investigate the group, make sure that their finances are clean before they allow them to buy Everton. Now, the current owner of Everton, Fahad Moshiri has come under scrutiny by the fans because of the way he has handled the club. They believe that he's wasted money in terms of his transfer policy has been very poor. That they've wasted a lot of money on players who have not helped the club. Now, the story about Everton right now is that they are currently under investigation for breaking financial fair play rules. Okay, so an independent financial body has been set up to investigate Everton's FFP breaches, and they are currently undergoing that process. And the report is that there are reports on Everton's FFP rules, whether they've broken the rules or not, will be ready by the end of this week. And then the Premier League board are coming out with a statement to say that if Everton are found, breaking any FFP rules, they are suggesting a 12-point deduction for the football club. Mind you, Everton are currently sitting 16th on the EPL table. So if they are deducted 12 points, it means that they will have somewhere around negative 5 points. So I mean, to add more salt to injury, three clubs who are currently in the championship now, former EPL clubs, Burnley, Leeds United, and Leicester City, who were relegated last season, are now saying that they are going to sue Everton for £300 million if they are found to have broken FFP rules, which they believe was instrumental in Everton staying in the league because of the kind of players that they brought in. But they believing that their monies were not, the profit generation was not in line with the expenses they've made on their signings. Now, it comes at a very bad moment for Everton fans who are mourning the death of their former Everton director, Bill Kenwright. He's been the board chairman of Everton for quite some time. He lost his life, I think 2 days ago. So I mean, it's all kind of a very difficult spell for Everton fans. So Sean Dyche will do very well to kind of pull the mentality of the players away from all the off-field activities on the pitch onto the pitch, so that they can keep going, so that they will not be affected by the negative stories around Everton at this moment. Also, I want to talk about the fact that in terms of banning people, Sandro Tonali, the news coming in is that he is likely to be banned for 10 months. Now, mind you, there is currently a massive investigation going on in Italy concerning betting, players who are involved in sports betting. Mind you, that Juventus midfielder Fagioli has already been banned for 7 months for being involved in betting activities. It is illegal for footballers to be involved in betting, in sports betting. Now, much less to be even bet against your own team or to bet with your own team. Now, which Sandro Tonali is accused when he was playing for AC Milan. He was accused of betting betting with AC Milan, and that is actually an illegal move. And the player has actually come out to say that it is true that he did bet illegally, and then he has come out to say that he is addicted to gambling, and so he is currently undergoing therapy for gambling addiction. Okay, now the information coming up is that the Italian Football Federation and the Italian Prosecutor's Office are going to give him a 10-month ban, which is believed his lawyers negotiated for, because the rule is that anyone involved in betting, especially with their club, are supposed to be banned for somewhere around up to 3 years. So I mean, it is believed that his lawyers negotiated for a much lower sentence to somewhere around 10 months, and that after that there's going to be a sort of financial penalty as well. So he's going to pay some amount of money in euros, and then he's going to suffer another 10-man ban. Now that means that he's going to miss the rest of the season for Newcastle. Also going to miss the Euros, which is going to take place somewhere in the summer of next year, 2024, and that will put him somewhere around September next year. So he can only start playing football in September next year. Now it is believed that the ban will come at the end of this week. The investigation will be done and then the ban will come. Now, aside Tonali and Fagioli, another player who has been implicated in all this is the Aston Villa winger Nicolo Zaniolo has also been implicated. Now Zaniolo has come out to say that although he was involved in betting, he was not aware that the betting sites that he went to were illegal as well. So I mean, he could also have some fine or a ban coming up for him. So, but the investigation is ongoing. They are going to make sure that they cast the net wider to make sure that those who are involved in sports betting, especially with their own clubs, are found culpable and penalized for their actions. Now, my last story for today is at the camp of Real Madrid. There's going to be a partnership between the Real Madrid Football Club and the Saudi Investment Bank. Okay, now the Saudi Investment Bank released a statement saying that the partnership is going to help Saudi fans who are fans of Saudi citizens who are fans of Real Madrid to connect with the bank. So I mean, it's kind of one of those advertising pools that they want to do to attract Real Madrid fans of Saudi Arabia to their bank. So the Real Madrid of course is going to get some sort of financial incentive for this partnership. So a good move for the Real Madrid, and also a good move for the Saudi Pro League as well, because it's all sort of building that image around football that the Saudi Arabia football body wants to project, in anticipation for their bid for the 2032 FIFA World Cup. So let's see how all of this, 2036 FIFA World Cup. So let's see how all of this will go into, affect that, ambition by the Saudis to host the FIFA World Cup. So thank you very much for staying with me on Pious Football. Mind you, like and subscribe to the channel of Pious Football. I'll bring you all the latest in transfer news, and every important information about football concerning Europe will be, said and brought right here on this channel on Pious Football. Thank you very much for staying with me. Bye.